On Roadworthy Rescues, I made a Thunderbird look great again after 30 years. Then that happens to me right away. That's fine. Roadworthy Rescues had everything a great car show should have. Thorough reconstructions of classic cars and, of course, Derek Barry's skills. The show showed how abandoned cars could be brought back to life by taking fans on a trip. People quickly became devoted to the show because they liked how it combined fun and useful information, but the show was quickly ended even though it was very popular. Why? Not low scores or no interest, but a big change in the business. Want to know more? Come with us as we find out the real reason why Roadworthy Rescues stopped. First, let's talk about where it all began before we get into why the show stopped. Roadworthy Rescues didn't just appear out of thin air, you see. It all started with Derek Barry's love of bringing old cars back to life. As you may already know, Derek was already well known in the world of cars before the show's launch. With a mix of skill and fun, he brought old, neglected cars back to life on his YouTube site, Vice Grip Garage, and won over a lot of loyal fans. His movies stood out because they were so simple. He didn't use any fancy tools or a fancy shop. He just had a lot of technical knowledge and a strong love for old cars. Motor Trend saw that Derek's impact was rising and saw a chance. They came to him in early 2022 with the idea of making his hobby into a full-on TV show. The simple goal was to make something like Vice Grip Garage but with better production values and a wider audience. That being said, it's important to note that Derek had already met Motor Trend at car shows and worked with David Freiberger as a guest on Roadkill. Most likely that publicity helped seal the deal and the rest is history. On the show, Derek took abandoned cars all over the United States and told stories about them as he went. Fans first learned about the show in an episode of Roadkill from 2022, when Derek showed up and gave hints about it. And for 3 years, he stuck to his roots and made sure the show was real. Even though the show was very famous, it was canceled with the latest wave of TV shows. Without a doubt, the choice to cancel the show was a shock, but what did really happen? You can find the answer on Warner Bros. Discovery and Motor Trend Plus. For that reason, Warner Bros. Discovery has a history of ending shows without warning. The company has always said that its goal is to make as much money as possible while also making material that fits with its changing strategy. In order to do this, the company looked at its whole production list again and cut shows that didn't fit with its new goals. This was not the case after Warner Bros. Discovery gave Motor Trend Group to Hearst Magazines. You may be thinking what the sale has to do with the cancellation of Roadworthy Rescues. Well, there were rumors that Warner Bros. Discovery was having a hard time with its $45 billion 0 cents in debt before it sold Motor Trend Group. This was causing big budget cuts across all of its networks. Because of this, the company shut down Motor Trend's production offices as part of its plans to restructure. This meant that a number of in-house shows had to be canceled. One of Motor Trend's most popular shows, Roadkill, ended after 13 seasons. Now Roadworthy Rescues is following in its footsteps. The main reason the show was canceled was because of money problems, but other things also played a role. Motor Trend's move to Discovery Plus and Max was another important reason why the show was canceled. Before it was sold in 2024, Motor Trend said it was moving its shows to a new place. Warner Bros. Discovery didn't keep a separate platform for car material. Instead, they added Motor Trend Plus shows to Discovery Plus and Max. Some loyal fans followed Roadworthy Rescues to its new site, but the change wasn't easy for everyone, which caused fewer people to watch. It was also harder to get regular watchers to join Discovery Plus because it required a subscription. Some longtime fans also thought that the show lost its draw as it got better, which is what drew them to it in the first place. That caused a big drop in watchers, which meant less money was made. And in the streaming business, which is very competitive, Only the most profitable shows make it. Warner Brothers Discovery was already having money problems, so this drop in watchers was probably a good reason to stop the show. People who liked Roadworthy Rescues were upset and angry when it was canceled. When word got out that Warner Brothers Discovery, which owns Motor Trend, had to stop all of its original shows because of money problems, fans took to groups and social media to say what they thought. People on Reddit said that Discovery Plus messed up Motor Trend, and some said that the show was an important part of their lives. Discovery has fumbled Motor Trend so hard it should be studied, they stated. One thing that fans loved about the show was how real it felt. Some car shows are more about drama than about fixing up cars, but Roadworthy Rescues was all about fixing up cars. It looks like Derek's friends really liked that about him. On car sites, people liked how he approached things and said he was entertaining without trying too hard. His do-it-yourself style made the show unique, and fans thought it spoke to everyone, not just rich collectors. Many fans were also mad and blamed Warner Brothers Discovery for putting money ahead of viewers by ending a popular show while keeping others that weren't as popular. But another group of fans agreed that the cancellation was probably due to money problems and business decisions, not the quality of the show. This is because business needs to come before audience wants. Derek has now turned his attention to Vice Grip Garage, his already popular YouTube account, since the show was canceled. Vice Grip Garage has more than as of early 2025, 22 million followers and is still Derek's main site, where he's putting even more effort into it, fixing up old cars and sharing his laid-back, funny style that fans love. Has been what he does there every week for years. Since he no longer has to work on the TV show, he can spend more time on his channel, where he is in charge of everything and doesn't have to follow any company rules. Many people don't know this, but Vice Grip Garage has been around for a while. Before he joined Roadworthy Rescues, Derek worked there. It's also been suggested by fans that Derek might work with David Freiberger from Roadkill, who has been on his show before. Even though this seems unlikely, Derek has a lot of fans in the car business, so he could easily work with other mechanics to make something new. Of course, nothing is official yet, but the fact that he has been to events like the Hot Rod Power Tour in the past says that he is willing to meet new people and work with others. Derek hasn't said anything public about what he plans to do next, but one thing is for sure. His fans will follow him wherever he goes. Fans can rest easy for now knowing that he is still busy on his Vice Grip Garage channel, where he makes the videos they love. Let's remember good times now that we know why the show stopped. The Bandit, a 1981 Chevy Camaro that Derek worked on for Roadworthy Rescues, was one of his best jobs. Before putting the Chevy in a shed, its owner, a man named Bandit, raced it in the 1980s. Even though the Chevy looked rough and cheap at first glance, Derek saw what it could be and set out to fix it up. In fact, he did just that. He gave the Bandit another chance on the dirt. It was a task for Derek to fix up a 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS in another show. He said that the famous power car had been sitting on their family farm for years without being used. Derek's job was to get it back on the road. He and his brother carefully fixed up the car and got it back to its original state, showing how much they care about saving automobile history. On the show, Derek also worked to fix up a classic 1967 Ford Mustang Fastback that had been left alone for 28 years. The car hadn't been on the dirt for a while, but Derek took the time to fix it up so that it could be driven again. A 1966 Pontiac Tempest, a 1928 Ford Model A 1937 Chevrolet Deluxe, and an old Oldsmobile are some of the other buildings Derek worked on while Roadworthy Rescues was still on.